Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations. I am Uakeisha, and this is
Tikisha.
you said you said it in the alto voice today. You wasn't a soprano.
Not the alto.
You know my family is the singing background.
Oh my
Usually
goodness.
you the soprano.
You done took it back.
Usually you're like Tikisha. Today you're like Tikisha.
You know, sometimes all the choir members don't come, so you be having to maneuver and move around and get you over there. So I had to switch it up.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of choir, I know that you didn't grow up like active in church, but did you ever consider like joining a music ministry or joining the choir thing when you was at church?
When I was at church, like little girl, I was in the choir.
Oh, you were?
Mm-hmm. We used to go to Unity Baptist Church.
On Tireman?
Yes. And I was in the choir. This
I
was like
did not
a
know you
gazillion
went
years
to
ago.
Unity. Really?
Mm-hmm.
So when you were like little, that's where y'all went.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got older, when you were like in the children's choir?
Yeah. When I got older, it was like, nah, I do remember one incident when Pastor called me out from the pews and had me come up and sing in the choir. I won't say where.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I remember that happening in my adult life.
You see, that's something I didn't know about you.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that you said, was this something that you wanted to do? Because even as a child, I imagine you.
No, it was not. It was not anything that I wanted to do. It was something that I
was forced to do.
Like told, like this is what you're going to do.
Gotcha.
Because me now, introvert, you know, I have extrovert skills, but I'm not.
Yeah.
But so I've been like that my whole life, where it's just like to be around. Because I remember I would have to go to Sunday school too. And that would be like traumatizing for me because I'm around, you know, sometimes you think like kids with other kids, it's so easy, but I've been socially awkward. I remember even as a kid.
Really?
Yes.
So is this something that happened a few times, or is something that was over the years while you were small, you sang in the choir?
It was just over the years, not for a very long time. No.
Okay. But when you got older, that was not
that something. Was, yeah.
And I asked that because I know how you love music, and you know, a lot of people who love music, they sing it in the car loud. A lot of people think they can sing. But do you sing in the car?
I mean, I rap in the car.
Okay. All right.
You know, but if some songs come on, then yeah, I mean, like today, I have forgot, because what happened to the blues? Growing up, I used to listen to the blues, and I seen a TikTok today, and they was playing the blues down home, and I was just like, oh my God, what happened to the blues? But I remember singing that, like going down south on road trips, listening to blues. Yes,
that just made me wonder when I said you said it in an alto voice. I was like,
but yeah, I don't think that I can sing, but I sing in the car. You know who I say it on camera. She don't watch it, so she'll probably never hear this. But I low key think if Tiffany took like some lessons like that, she could sing. My middle niece wanted to sing.
Did she?
Yeah. So yeah, Tiffany really, she probably could.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. One of my other friends, she be killing it in the car with her concerts too.
Stop playing.
Yeah.
Really? But she never was in the choir.
And Tiffany grew up always singing around the house and everything too.
Really?
Which I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, where was we listening? Like, was I just listening to music in my room? Was it on TV? Because I don't remember my parents playing music.
Okay.
But I feel like my auntie probably did.
That's what I was wondering, like, where.
And you know, we only live like 3 blocks from them, so I spent a lot of time over there too. Yeah, but yeah, girl,
that's interesting. We learn something new about each other every week. I mean, every week, it just made me think, like, have you ever sang in a choir? I mean, I know I've sang in a choir. I don't know if you've ever like really heard me sing.
No,
but you've heard me sing. You know, I've sang in a choir, so.
But that's just like even with me going to a Lutheran school, we had religion classes. It was what do you even call that?
Girl, I
what
just
do you
said
call
religion.
no the singing class.
Oh,
yeah, we would have chapel and we would sing, but the choir? I'm trying to say the choir
I don't
class.
know. It was just a music class. Did we have a certain name to it?
But I'm saying from my elementary school, not at high school, but from there they had that, and we would do Christmas programs. So it was always some singing music for the Lord.
You know, the fact that we've had this, well, no, not we, because you did go to public school. We've experienced private and public. But vice versa, though. I went to public first. You went to private. And then you went to private.
Thrown into and then you went to public high school.
And the differences with those schools are major in ways people probably would not understand how God was integrated in everything at our Lutheran school. And if I had paid attention more than I did, because we used to have the theology class where we would read the Bible, and I just learned enough to just pass the test and everything. But if I had paid attention to what the school was actually trying to do, like, we probably would have been further along in our spiritual journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially for me, because I started out with some type of, from the very beginning up until I left in 10th grade. Yeah. So that's a lot of years under some type of religion.
Yeah. And I went for 3 or 4 years. I think it was 3 years, starting high school. And at that point, you were mature enough to understand, but you still got the high school mind.
Yeah, high school mind.
Mm-hmm. So when I think back now, though, I'll be like, my best school years were my high school years, because it was a private school. And I truly believe, when I tell people that I went to a private school for high school, I said, if they had not changed my schools, I would probably be living a life of destruction.
You think so?
Because this is probably something else you didn't know about me. When I was in junior high, middle school, I always was a curious kid and whatever, but I followed, I don't want to say the crowd, because I'm still friends with them. Hey, girl. But we actually, my friend, and we both are like, God is all about it. He's everything to us now, but I can say she ain't gonna mind. We used to skip school all the time. And, I think about how God covered us and kept us safe, because it was things that happened when we skipped school. Like, the most traumatic thing that happened, this was during was it 8th? Because our school ended up going to 9th grade. I think it was 8th grade. I can't even remember. But we skipped school with some friends. One friend got in trouble and was suspended. So we decided we're going to not go to school to go with you. So we go to our girl house, and we all sitting there, 3 guys, 3 girls, and we're all friends. Nothing bad, nothing sexual. We just laughing, talking. Then we get hungry. Like, oh, y'all go to Coney Island, because we over in where the hood Coney Island is. Mm-hmm. Go get some food. And it was some neighborhood guys that lived in her neighborhood that wanted to get in the house. They knew we were there. And she was like, no, y'all can't get in. And they were a little older. And so when our friends from school, the boys went to leave to go get some food, they were gone for a while. And we were sitting there, we were laughing, talking. And I was like, man, they've been gone for a while. Next thing we know, some banging on the door. Boom, boom, boom. We go open the door. And our friend, he fell in our arms, covered in blood. These guys had caught them in the alley and beat them. They busted his jaw. The other 2 guys, they didn't get beat as bad. They ran away. They busted his jaw. It was just, I think about that now, like, they could have killed us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when I think about how I've been covered over my life, it was just a lot. So me and my friend, we left her house. So I called the EMS. We going back to the school. School's almost over. We walked back to the school. They were getting out, and kids just looking at us like, y'all in trouble. We was like, why? Because it was too many kids missing, and they called everybody's house that had skipped school that day. Mm-hmm. So not only had we been traumatized by our friends getting into this fight and getting beaten, when I walk home, I'm dreading walking in the door, and my father, who had never disciplined me, I talk about a lot about how he had been like kind of hands off, and my mother was the disciplinarian and whatever. He looked at me. He had been to my school, and they walked him to every class, and saw I was not there. And when I got home, he was just like so disappointed. The disappointment in his face, I'll never forget that. And that was the first time I remember my daddy whooping me. Like, that hurt me more than anything. Was just like, I was just this rebellious type, I wanted to be that good kid and a cool kid at the same time. It's like, how do you bring that together? And I didn't know how to bring it together. So that's how I ended up at Lutheran West.
Let me just tell you, I did not skip school. See, I'm a late bloomer, okay?
Yeah.
I was in 11th grade by the time I skipped school.
No, what? Hey, please. 7th to 8th grade, we was
skipping. I can't even.
What? 11th grade? You was that grown.
I know. I wasn't even skipping no more. Like, I'm a late bloomer.
Girl, we was 13, 14 walking down 6 Mile. Like, what's going to come down? Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
When I think about though, they put me in the private school because it was like, okay, we got to do something that's going to change your mindset. And if you think about how Lutheran West was, it was small, and everybody pretty much was a scholar.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to do well.
Yeah, so you wanted to do well.
You wanted to do well. So when I think about, people put their kids in private school, it is a little different. I don't know how it is now, but back then, I remember everybody was doing their work. We was in the library, everybody studying. I'm thinking we was not doing this at certain.
Because for me and my experience, it was always a competition. Like, so I knew who the smart kids were. We was all smart, but I knew the ones who was smarter than me.
Yes.
So growing up, like in elementary, we were always like, what you got, and we got our progress reports and shared it. So, and then that did come over in to
high school
too.
Yeah,
because there was always a competition for me.
Yes,
it was always.
So by high school, you already
I was like that.
Was there.
Yes, but by the time I switched to public, it was no competition. I didn't care about school like I did before.
Yeah.
Because nobody around me was like, it wasn't no comparison like, dang girl, I, joking like whatever, like I'm keeping up. It was just like, okay, we passed and
let's keep going. Yeah, it was, but when I got to
and then I didn't have a lot of friends either. Yeah. So it went from being this small, wholesome, like we had conflicts and stuff.
We was like family.
Still family.
Yeah, we was family. We was family.
Yeah. So to me, going to getting two friends in the big school and nobody even really, I mean, I had a little bit more than two, but you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like before where I had a plethora.
Yeah.
And that's when I struggle when people talk about the girl who has a lot of friends, like they don't trust her, because I think about me. And for me, going to that private school, throughout, how today I still have the friends that I have from 3rd grade.
Yep.
But because we went to this family-oriented school, we stayed like family throughout the years.
Look at me and you.
So it's just like,
yes,
I can still, they may not be in my life every day, but
you can call them.
I still can call them if I need them. They on my sick and shut in list every single day, held close to my heart. So I'm just like, it's still possible for a woman to have X amount of friends with it not being like, well, something got to be wrong with her or something.
Yeah, that's how I got my few that I'm still friends with. The one we celebrate her birthday together. She was the one who I was skipping with, but now full circle, me and her don't talk all the time, but like I know that's my girl, But yeah, I think about the private school thing and how my life was different from public to private and everything. And you gotta know your kids. My parents knew she's yeah, let's pull her out of this and put her here, because me and my sister were complete opposite, like you and your
like
sister.
me and mine. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I was probably Tiffany.
Yes, absolutely.
And you was Tanya.
Yes. Because that's the older sister's role.
You was Tanya. I was Tiffany.
Yes.
I'm just thinking about now, like, oh, I was Tiffany. Hey, girl, hey.
I'll have to send her this episode for her to watch it.
Send it to her, because now that I'm thinking about, like, oh, maybe that's why I can relate to her so well, because I was Tiffany, and you and Tanya were like the book. She went to the supposedly best high school in the city. They think they are, but yeah, I think about that. So I think about that when I make the choices for my kids' school.
And I begged to go to that best high school in the city. You? Yes. I remember taking the test because I'm just like, I got to go to Cass. Like, girl, I got to go to Cass. And
I didn't even take the test because my mom and daddy was like, nope, Lutheran West.
My parents told me that I didn't score high enough.
Your parents did?
So I've never questioned my dad about this, but recently, like this year, me and my sister was talking about it because one day it hit me out the blue and I said, do you think that they were lying to me? And Tiffany was just like, of course they was lying to you. Like, you didn't think about that before? She like, as smart as you was in school, you didn't think that? They just didn't want you to go to the public school. And I was just like, I'd be damn, she probably right.
I was about to say, like,
because even you looking at me like, you believe that? That's what I'm saying. I was the late bloomer.
And this is for the people who don't understand. My friend, when it comes to schoolwork,
I'm gonna study. Math,
she studies. And like, even now, she's the biggest reader. Like, her fun is like, ooh, let's read a book.
Yes.
So when you say that they told you didn't score high enough, I'm like, girl, come on now.
I didn't even put two and two together. I'm so embarrassed.
They just didn't want to go downtown every day. But yeah, they
didn't want to have to worry about how I was going to get there. And it was going to be, which it would have been a cultural shock for me, but it probably would have been better for me then than when it did happen later. I don't know. But I still feel like it's too late, but I often wonder how my life would have been if we wouldn't have moved to the city we moved to. Because I'm like, if we would have still been there, even if I would have graduated from Lutheran West, what would my lifestyle have been like? I wonder if I would have went away to school.
Because a lot of people that went to high school went away.
Yes.
A lot of them.
Yeah, so I wonder, because I always wanted to go away. So I wondered if we had moved with that, how that route would have looked for me. And, with finances, because we moved to a suburb. So I'm sure it's more expensive. But I just wonder if it was reversed, because I'm pretty sure that they thought that they was putting us into this really good school district, which I won't say that it wasn't, because that high school offered classes that I hadn't even heard of.
Okay.
But outside of academics, socially, it was a lot where I didn't even care about really what they had to offer, because I really wasn't caring about school. It was like I knew I was going to get by because I was just smart anyway.
Yeah.
But before I was learning, I was going to school learning because I was trying to beat whoever. And I'm a sore loser. That's why I don't like to play games now. Because I am a sore loser. I know that about myself.
God,
but I wonder, because, and that's what they say, like your peers and people who you around, depending on that child, not all kids have that strong personality where they're not influenced. Yeah. And then some have the personalities where they are influenced.
And I'm
so that speaks to how I was influenced in both situations, because I wasn't around those driven kids.
And I was influenced by what I was around. So when I was in the public school, I was influenced by what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I went to the private school with you all, I was influenced by what was going on. And it changed the trajectory of my path with school.
Yep.
I wasn't like the college girl because I was always a creative, but it led me to where I am today, because had I stayed on the I'll be honest, a lot of the people that I was in that school with are dead and gone. You know, some could be gang related, some, it just was a different thing. And back then you actually go to your neighborhood school.
Excuse me.
So we was in the neighborhood school. And when they took me out of the neighborhood school and said, no, here you go, I believe that's why we were talking about last week. Your parents may not say things to you, but they do things that you watch and remember. I remember that about my parents. And so my children are in schools that I feel fit them, not particularly in my neighborhood, because both of my kids went to school far away from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of people not going to do that. I think in this generation, more people do it because people probably the same way we think.
Thinking, yeah. I don't know. I think in our generation is probably where it did change. I don't know, to listen more of our kids and learn more of their personalities as individuals. Probably because we felt that we weren't heard.
Yeah.
Or just decisions were just made. So I think we incorporated it a little bit more, but it's a difference when you incorporate it and listen to it and actually act on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's commendable for you to actually act on it and do that, because there's some parents, and unfortunately the other thing about it is there's some parents who physically can't do that.
Yeah.
Because I remember working an hour away, and having help with getting Jordan to and from school. Everybody doesn't have the village, and sometimes, unfortunately, the kids suffer. So it's a blessing for you to be able to put them in schools that fit their creativeness and where they're going to excel at. And your son already showing you he did that thing.
This is what I'll say about that. When I had children, when I was pregnant, and you probably was similar, like you just want the best for your child and everything. And I always spoke, and I probably said it loosely in the beginning. I always spoke that my kids gonna go to school for free. My kids are going to have a scholarship. Y'all gonna get a scholarship when they get.
Yeah, you just said that as long as I remember, because I was just like, these kids better get it, or I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do, because my friend is gonna be PO.
I have said it. Just y'all can get a scholarship, free scholarship. Hashtag when I post a report card. Hashtag scholarship loaded, whatever. And I believe it is true that life and death your words are true. Is the power of your tongue is true, because when we moved him in his dorm yesterday, and I ain't paid nothing, it's just like God, you really done cover. When I think about, we talking about my school situation to now, and now my kid's situation and how he's covered me, like I just don't play around with it anymore. I don't. And then now my daughter is preparing, and I was sharing with you before, like how we as a family pouring into each other and pouring into her to prepare her. Like, girl, your scholarship coming, so you got to get ready. This is a
time.
This is a responsibility that you have. Once God bless you with something, that you gotta see it through, and not forcefully, because he's a God of free will. He don't force us to do anything. But when he bless you with something, like, and I can already see on my son, like he is like serious, like, man, he's focused, like, I am ready. And I'm like, okay.
Let me ask you something, and I hate to cut you off and switch it, but that just made me think of, do you believe that when God reveals you what your gift is, do you believe at that point that there kind of isn't no free will, that if you're diligently seeking God in this relationship with him and he reveals to you what you're supposed to do, shouldn't you automatically act on that? Or, because I sometimes wonder if we don't follow instructions that we feel are God-given to us, if that's what's caused destruction in our lives. Do you wonder if the path, I don't want to say it's easier, but when it is the obstacle, you still see your detour. You see what I'm saying? You don't wonder how you gonna get home. You still know the other way to go. Do you feel like that's happening because you've been working on your relationship more and more individually with yourself and with God? I said a lot.
I think I have multiple answers. Okay, so when he answered your prayer, and I think this is what you said to me first. When he answers your prayer, and he gives you and he bless you, does it not become free will anymore to keep that path going on what you prayed for?
Well, I guess it's free will because it's your decision, but don't you shouldn't it just be automatic? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
When you in God, it should be automatic. It should be automatic for you, but because we are flesh and we are human, you still have a choice. You still have a choice every day to make that choice to do the right thing, to take that right path. Even when he blessing you. So God done answered my prayer for the scholarships. And my son know this has been a prayer that's being answered, and other things has happened because they know, I don't have anything. Everything is on him now. Now he has to continue to make the right choice. Because even with,
because now you didn't hit the crossroad where y'all was together, but now it's
you going your own way. You going your own way.
You gotta figure it. You gotta maintain this gift that you've been given.
Exactly. You gotta maintain it. I could keep praying for you and ask him to cover you, but if you make the choice to go another way, then that it's always free will. I heard somebody say, I think it was on. I was been watching the convention, the election convention, and someone said, I can't remember. It was like, God is not a God of force; He's a God of freedom, and it's up to us how we use that freedom. So I think that no matter what, even when He bless you with the gift, you have certain gifts that you have, but you have to make the choice to use the gifts the right way. You could take the gift and use it another way. You know what I'm saying? I could take my gift and use it another way. We could change it for evil, but we still have the freedom and the free will to make the right choice. So I don't ever think it's where you don't have free will. I always believe that you have free will to do the right thing and stay on the path. Because the minute you, like right now, I'm decentering dating, which has been a thing for me. Now, the minute I change that path, then am I going to still be, blessed with the way that I have been now? Because I have made a conscious choice to honor my body, to honor my time, to give my free time in my word as much as I can be. Not like, I'm in there all day, because, it's kind of impossible. But I'm making a choice. Now, the minute I step out of that, then I know my life will be in disarray. Like it has, you know what I'm saying? It'll be in disarray. So I think that it's always going to be where you got free will. Always. It's because we naturally sin. We actually naturally can do wrong easily. But we are so focused on doing the right thing that the minute we feel something wrong, it's like our heart is pricked, the spirit's pricked us.
I feel so convicted.
You feel convicted, and I do too. Like, oh man, I shouldn't have. Even my conversations, when I have a conversation, I shouldn't have. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have engaged. I shouldn't have engaged in that, or I shouldn't even, did that. And but that's correction, for the next time. So I think it's always free will.
I think it's always free will, but I'm just wondering, does it change the level of
what
karma and consequences of what's gonna happen next?
Now that I don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's just like, I wonder, when do we run out of time? When do you run out of time from making that same mistake over and over again?
Listen to this. Listen. We 48. And the mistakes that we've made, I wish I could go back. Like I said, I don't have regrets, but I sometimes wish I could go back on choices I made. Like, man, why did I do that? Because I see now where my life would have been earlier if I had not made those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a daily thing. And you can tell me what you think. I think it's a daily thing. Now, I don't really wonder about if my time is going to run out, because every day I feel blessed that, I got another day to.
That's how I feel. I literally feel like joy in the morning, like I'm renewed. So I don't worry about it. But, and not that I'm necessarily thinking of like bad, but I wonder the people, and myself included, who has consciously done the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a dating relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I've been knew I should have left this. And I'm still acting against my own judgment.
That's a big deal. I thought about that a lot recently. Not for myself.
And it gotta be consequences from that.
Yeah, not for myself, because
how can I trust you if I ain't even trusting myself?
If I'm not even trusting myself. If I'm not trusting myself. Like that, I thought about that a lot recently. When I look at, and I hate to say, other people's situations, like, do y'all know that you can actually take another path and it'll be great even if you're not in that situation? That situation ain't even got to be horrible, but just that you living outside of the wheel of what. And I don't
think it's like you judging them. I just think that your mind is open to see more options.
It is.
And a lot of times people in situations think that I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And that I didn't have a choice is a choice. You made the choice to not have a choice.
Absolutely.
And it took me a long time to realize that.
Me, same.
Like, I ain't have a choice. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
That was the choice that I made.
Girl, even we was talking before on camera last week, we was talking about physically, sexually, and all that. And but when we was talking about on camera about the choices we made younger, and how you be thinking that something is so great and feels so great, and you realize
like, it was not.
No, it was not.
It was not.
It wasn't. It's
like I was in a rush because everybody talking about this, and this is just what it is, and this is what it is. I'm okay.
I'm great.
I just want to pull all that back.
But we didn't. We had a choice then, and we knew we had a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But because I
knew I had a choice after I had Jordan, I should have stopped. I should have stopped.
Oh, and I told you, I don't know if you remember, you remember this, when we first started our podcast, but we wasn't recording. I was in the car and I was telling you about how the Holy Spirit spoke to me about a situation and everything. And I was like, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And my life took a completely 12-year cycle.
Yes.
And once I got out of the cycle, it was like, wow. And then I had an opportunity to go down a similar cycle again. And I realized what it was. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And I had to make the choices we make.
Yes, because if you would have trusted yourself.
And I did.
That voice.
And
the Holy Spirit within you dumping that in, and you just,
girl, I be looking like, when I don't look at people in judgment. I won't say that. I look at them wishing they felt what I feel on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't you know you so much better, that you worth so much more, that your life could be peaceful, that you don't have to live like this. And
let me say, and it's not an easy road to get there.
Not,
that road is the hardest
It is.
It's full of construction.
It is.
Potholes, everything.
Detours.
Yes, it is very hard. But once you get there, once you get in that moment, I always think of it like the whole birth thing. Like now you got your baby.
Yep.
Now you got your baby.
Yep.
Once that moment, all that other stuff before,
the pain instantly gone.
Yes.
Like birth. When the baby come out, like the pain is instantly gone. It's like, whew. And the baby is so beautiful, and everything is beautiful, and the baby smell good. That's how it feels. That's how it feels.
That's how it feels on this side.
That's how it feels like. And you don't have the stresses, and not saying you don't have no problems, because problems still gonna come. Yeah. Life is life. But when you choose the right path.
Yes. And in choosing that, you approach those problems differently.
Like when I said I was skipping school. And I knew it was bad. I knew it was bad back then. I was like 13, 14. But I'm like, I'm going with them. And my friends end up getting beat, broken jaw and everything. Consequences had to happen for it to hit me like, I ain't going to do this no more.
Yep.
And then I had to go switch schools. And go to a private school, which was the best situation. But my parents made a choice.
Yeah.
That changed my path. But I knew that what I was doing wasn't good. Yeah. I knew it.
And that's the thing. Like you said, you know it at a young age. So we even know at younger ages how to implement using discernment, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And making better decisions for yourself, because a parent can only do so much and for so long.
Yeah.
So you have to be accountable, and you have to utilize your own common sense. From experience that you to see, heard, whatever, and make it all make sense and apply to your day-to-day life. But that being accountable and just making good choices, because like you said, that changed everything.
It changes everything. And that's a great analogy you brought up about when you give birth and how you're going through the labor and it's painful and it's hours of pain that seem like it's not going to end. And it's a lifetime that we sometimes be going through pain and problems and situations.
Yes, and the fear that comes with it. Yeah. All the different emotions that you can have. You experience joy.
Yeah.
You may experience sadness because somebody who you want to be there ain't there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you happy because you got this new baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's all different types of emotions that come with birth.
Yeah.
And we need to look at that with whatever we're trying to birth into our life.
Come on, preacher.
I'm just saying.
But that's true. You are absolutely right.
I'm just saying. Whatever new is something that we're trying to birth. This podcast, we having twins. You got one, I got one. I'm just saying, like, this was something that we are birthing.
And the thing
and nurturing and seeing, because it grows just like the baby grows up.
Yes. And it's so the wonderful thing about this is when I like completely gave my life to God, like completely, like you grew up in church, and I talk about church all the time. You grew up in it, but giving my life to Him didn't happen when, I got baptized at whatever age it was. I don't even remember. It happened when I completely surrendered. Like, I don't know what this is I'm feeling, Lord, but I got something in my life got to change, and I got to give myself to you. And I forgave, and I told you that I completely felt a release of just pressure off of me that I didn't even know I had on me. Like, why am I so light now? It's literally, I feel lighter. And when I talk to you, I know you know what I mean, but I be like, oh, I feel so light. And then the day I really experienced it was like, man, I don't know why you choosing me to do this, because I don't know how to talk about you, but it's like He gives me the words to say to help somebody. My conversation The other day, my client, I've been having a slew of brand new clients, and that's one thing I wrote down. Write the vision, make it plain. I wrote down I want new clients, and the clients that I've been getting have been new. And my conversation with my clients the other day, I sat and did her eyelash extensions for 2 hours, and we talked about God and how He blessed us. We talked about church and it's just changing. So He's making it easier for me to follow the path because you're removing the conversations that I don't need to have. Because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this intentional choice.
You know what helped me is because I'm so into the signs and synchronicity. So the more I ask God to show me something, and then I see it, even if it's like how they talked about the password or whatever. So then I see it, then I'm excited. So I'm excited to keep trusting and keep following that path because I just like, I'm in communication. Yeah. Something I never had before because like I said, it was like, oh, pray and tell God about it. But I'm like, how do I know He's listening? How do I know He's telling me what to do? So now for me, it was just relieving, I guess, and released a lot of what ifs and I don't knows because I'm getting a two-way conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm understanding it more.
When you said, I can't remember what episode it was, but you was talking about my God, like he my God. Yeah. Listen, I finally get what you saying because I be thinking, me and his thing is
you private. Feel like it's so strong and it's so private, like you cannot possibly be giving this to somebody else.
Yes,
it's like how I'm gonna be with future husband. Like, ain't no way I'm sharing you. Like, listen, that's how I feel. You're like, I'm sharing God with you.
Listen, the other day I sent you that screenshot of those numbers, and I was like, look at this. It was something with the election. I was like, I already know what's about to happen because I know God. I was like, come on, I know you ain't just telling me. Right. You just let me know.
Right. Right. Like, so really? That's what I'm saying. When I see stuff like that, I'm just like, for real. So it keeps me, how they would say, on the high vibrations.
High vibration.
It keeps me in a good mood where I'm looking forward to joy. It ain't even that I seen it pass.
Yeah.
But it's just I feel it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. I feel it passing. I ain't even got to see it happen yet. And I ain't got to see the future. I feel it right now.
Yeah.
So that makes getting through day by day just easier and happier.
Girl, I'm telling you, I understand now because you be like, he's my guy. I'm like, I know. And I be thinking, I know you ain't having these conversations with other people that you have with me. Like.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, but I know you're all knowing and you're all powerful and you are everywhere. So you are having them with the chosen and the called people. I'm chosen. So I understand. So I'm like, I get it now. Like, you're just putting this right in my face for me to see that this is between us, girl. Like, really? That's how I be feeling. So I get it now. Because when you first said it, I was like, girl, you know he everybody God.
Yeah, so that's exactly how you looked at me. And I'm like, okay. Like, I know, but in my mind, he's just mine. Okay?
I'm like, you got to share him right. You know he everybody God. But, I mean, listen. Y'all, you have a choice. You have free will. It's so funny because not always, but I've always spoken about the person who I was involved with that didn't believe in God.
Yes.
But one of the things that we spoke about a couple of times, he would say people have free will. People have free will to, do what is right or what is wrong. You have free will. And I think about that now, like, you just don't get it. Like, man, everything that you say has a spiritual meaning.
Yes.
It has a spiritual meaning. And I think about that now, like, oh, I get it, God. You was giving me the messages.
Yes.
You was giving me the messages during that time, like, oh, Keisha, you got free will. You got friends. I'm like, so now I get it. But everything that was going on was spiritual, and I remember the messages now. Like, oh, that's why you were telling me that, God. Like, yeah, but I just feel light and free and no pressure, and I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, airy, as you taught us last week.
Airy.
Yes,
and that don't mean we don't have bad days.
Oh no, because I have them. But I really try not to stay. Like I said before, I try not to stay in that place for a long time. And a lot of stuff is just like, I just have to release. Because that comes with wanting to control everything. You can't control everything. You just got to release. And like you said, life gone life. You just got to problem solve it and keep going.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving, because you can't control what other people do while you're going through this journey.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
And you can't take it personal.
You can't take it personal.
You can't take it personal. No. You can't judge somebody on where they at, because we've all been somewhere. I'm glad I ain't where I used to be, like, for real. Like, for real.
Listen, you see, I'm talking about all the times where I know I could have been gone. I remember being at parties I wasn't supposed to be at, and they started shooting and I was under the table. I remember, like I said, skipping school and I wasn't supposed to skip school, and I made myself sound like a real bad girl. I wasn't that bad.
I remember when we went to this party, it was on Joy Road, I believe, in some little whatever it was, and they came in, and I believe they was shooting, girl, and it was right after during our Christmas break, because my friend, her sister had got a new coat, and I was like, please let me wear it. I wore it, and girl, they stole it from the place. But
are you serious?
Yes. But because we running out, and I remember we ran to a house. I think it was like 3 houses from the corner, and was banging on the door like, please let us use your phone. Please let us use your phone. Because I think like her keys and stuff, if I remember, was still in the place. Friend, y'all remember that? Yes, we was knocking on the door. So I can't even imagine, like, if somebody was to come knocking on my door now, like, I would really need the Holy Spirit to tell me to open that door. Yeah, because that ain't how our world is now.
It's different.
So we have definitely been protected.
We have been
protected. And the messed up part about it is, I hate that our world is messed up as it is, where you don't know if somebody's scamming or if they really need some help.
Yeah,
it's a sad place.
It is. It's gotten worse, but we knew that it was going to get worse. Like, if you read your word,
if you need your word, you know that it's
gonna get worse. So I'm just glad that we've been protected and covered, and now
this is why it's so important for me to keep my connection and keep trying to do what's right.
Yes, and that's
because
why
I'm scared of the alternate.
You were asking how much time do you know?
I want to run out.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad that we have this time now, and we recognize it, because we're not making them same dumb mistakes. Because there's people that's our age that's still doing the same thing we was doing when we was 14, 15.
Yes.
They still doing that. And it's like, come on. Mm-hmm. Like, really? I'm not against people enjoying themselves or
me either,
or having fun or whatever, but it was certain places we went, we knew that we should not have been there. You know, certain parties, certain atmospheres that you put yourself in, that you know that you should not be there. Mm-hmm. And if you know you shouldn't be there, it's like, that's your free will. If you're going to go, you probably going to end up dead. You can't look at, like now, kids having block parties that get shot up all the time. If your child tell you, we going to a party or whatever, and come on, discernment. What kind of party? Where? You know,
like, we love to ask, who all gonna be there?
Who, you kind of know. So I'm just glad he done protected us. He done covered us, because now I ain't putting myself in them situations. I'm not putting myself in them. I don't have no interest in it. I enjoy being at home.
Me too. I love it.
Yes,
I love it.
I enjoy being at home.
I just like a kickback. Yeah. That's all I want to do, is just be laid back. Even if, you want to invite me over, because we was talking about that, you can invite me over and we can just have a kickback on the comfy couch, watch a movie.
I'm going to invite you over. I'm going to invite you over. I am. Jeez. Because we are really, now that we in this place, and I guess some people probably would say it's kind of boring. I don't feel bored though.
Me either.
I live a full life.
Yes.
Like full.
I was saying that my problem, what I struggle with is we can have these conversations like, I have plans tomorrow. Today, when I made those plans, I was all like, okay, excited. Yeah. And I was just like, tomorrow when it comes,
I know.
If I haven't had enough mental lectures to get me in the right mind space, I'm gonna be like, and that's the one thing that comes with people have to know that people and respect that too, because it really don't be meaning that I don't be wanting to go, but sometimes I need like 48 hours. Yeah. Because like 24, I don't know. 72 might be too much. Because I was thinking yesterday, a moment happened that I had been praying for. Mm-hmm. I've been waiting for it. It happened to me yesterday.
Really?
And I said, I'm too tired.
Girl.
So imagine getting an answered prayer and you say that you're too tired when I don't know if I was physically tired or if the anxiety on the inside had worked up so much, because it's just like, okay, now I need to get ready. I got that load of clothes in the washing machine that I never put in the dryer. I might need to rewash it. Then what I'm going to put on, what time it's going to be. It's already 6:00. I got to be at work at 6 a.m. I got to do the podcast tomorrow. So I'm going to have a long day. So people like me, this is how I process doing something. Mm-hmm. So I missed this opportunity that I had been praying for.
Wow. That's not good though.
No.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess my message for everybody is when the opportunity presents itself, sometimes you got to take that leap and go. So for me, sometimes I have to take that leap and go, even though I love being at home.
Absolutely. Because if it's something you've been praying for, you in that moment, you probably should thank God for the opportunity, and then that would have given you the motivation.
What I did, I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this happened. I thank you so much, but please, please, please let this person be able to understand that my brain don't work like that. I need some more time. And I felt really bad because I didn't explain to the other party on how I was feeling and what it made me feel.
Yeah.
So now that I'm having this out, that's something else, because I've been having like a lot of conversations with others this week about communication, where if I would have communicated that, it probably would have been better understood and we might could have made arrangements, versus now I'm like, I missed that opportunity and I don't necessarily know how to get it back in that same way. Mm-hmm. Because I might have missed that window, because sometimes you miss a window, and that's what I'm saying, back to running out of time. See, we gotta do what we want to do. Like,
let me tell you something that I do.
Use our discernment. Communicate.
When I write, because I write down like things and opportunities that I want. Like I don't know what the opportunity was, but I write down stuff, and when things happen for me or happen to me, that something I pray for, it don't always come in the way that I prayed for it. So I am asking for clarity on when you have blessed me with something, let me be prepared for it.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
Be prepared. I love that.
So when you ask for something, you have to ask in expectancy that it's going to happen. So I always be prepared for whatever I'm asking for. Like there are things.
And maybe that's sometimes why some prayers don't happen, because you really do need to be prepared for it to happen.
Yeah. I ask to be prepared for it because I don't know how it's going to. He never does it in a way that you think it's going to happen. So I ask, let me be prepared. Let me be ready. Let me be aware that that's what it is right now. Because it don't always happen. So you need to be prepared for when it's something that you pray for. You need to be prepared.
Yeah, I do. Because when I tell you it was my exact prayer in the exact form,
then
and that's happened to me more than once. And I don't even think I realized how much of a blessing. Ooh, look at the Lord coming through for me right now. Okay, we have 55 minutes though.
That's the benediction right there.
Be
If you
prepared.
ask for something, be prepared for it. And like all of the worries and anxieties that we have with things that come with it, whatever it is, then you got to be more prepared and have more faith than worry.
Yeah. Because if I'm been praying for it and I didn't ask for it,
yeah,
it doesn't matter the steps that I have to go through.
You can't
because
work.
That's the thing where my mind is processing each step.
Yes,
like
you can't
take a shower, do this, then it go to this.
You do that.
Yes.
You do that all the time.
So that's the thing. I need to learn how not to process the steps and focus on the end game.
Yeah, but
the opportunity that I want.
And this is I'm gonna say this, and then we close. I haven't watched her this week. Our girl Kim.
I haven't either. I opened up my notebook today and was just like, I haven't looked at her all week because I got a notebook just for that.
Yeah, I haven't watched her, but one thing I remember her saying was, "The end is not your concern. Like, just be prepared for it. What happens in the end is not your concern. Don't worry about it. I got to get up at 6 a.m. and work. You don't get up."
Yeah, so for me, it's not the end. It's the steps.
It's the step. Lead them steps out of it. When your
so if it's happening, I need to be grateful and embrace that it's happening and that I get it, and not sit in whatever my mind does that puts me through. Because that's the devil
playing tricks on your mind.
Yeah. Like this just really does make me think about a lot of opportunities that I've missed because I've thought about so many steps involved when the opportunity was just there, given as a gift.
See?
Okay.
Listen, hey, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Me too. Okay, me too.
Listen, we want y'all to like, listen, subscribe. Y'all probably can't tell, but these conversations be helping us. And I hope that they helping y'all. And hope that you share it with somebody. Today was deep because I really feel helped by our conversation today. It helped me realize some things, and I hope you did too.
It really did. It really did. Yeah. And I really think somebody who's wondering about their path.
Yes.
Which way to go and learning how discernment is and what it works for them, because we hear from God differently.
Yeah. Yeah. Use your discernment. Use your discernment in every area of your life. Love, career, family. Use your discernment. Your household. Use your discernment. Every move you make, use your discernment. And we will see you all next week.